the rest of the month, April up until last Wednesday, which was the 25th, April 25th, which was actually my husband's father's second anniversary of being killed in a car accident. For whatever reason, I decided to step on the scale again. Whopping 97 pounds? What? I stepped on the scale 3 times. No, this is not right. No, something's wrong with the scale. No, 97 pounds. Wake up call, what the heck? Reviewing over the last few weeks, I really wasn't eating. Didn't get the low blood sugar shakes that usually tells me to eat, that I need to eat. I wasn't even getting that. And what I normally do when things like that happen, I hide. I retreat inside myself and shut out the world. But this time, even though I really would have liked to have done that, I chose very quickly, very actively, get on my Coach Mastery, Master Coach Blueprint forum and I need to be in a confessional moment, lost weight, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm asking for. I'm just saying here. I need some sort of support. Diana Richart, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Sorry, Diana. Was the first one to pipe up and said, hey, we can get to that core issue. I'm like, awesome. I love core issues. Let's get there. Let's rock it. And so set an appointment for Saturday morning. Well, that was Wednesday. I had a few days, so I did some preparations, talked with a couple of my lifelines, and reviewing that, and Lori and Rachel also very, very helpful in processing and figuring out that I have issues about what women are supposed to be on this earth for. Generational, so worldwide, universal, generational, false core beliefs of not being wanted, only to be seen and not heard, not to question male authority, to acquiesce to keep the peace, to be beaten into submission. And with that, that's a universal all over the world, generation upon generation, ever since, well, no, not actually ever since Adam, probably from Cain. He's the one that we first hear of evil. Anyway, so from the time of Adam, not necessarily Adam himself being the abuser. So anyway, this is cute, core stuff. And so coming into this earth, being born, first, my mother was an unwanted pregnancy. She was abused. Name the abuse, she had it. I haven't heard anything that she has not had. When my mom got pregnant with me, my mom wanted me, but my grandmother didn't. She didn't want me to ruin my mother's life the way that my mother ruined my grandmother's life. So she pressured her to try to abort me. My mom eventually ran away before she actually married my dad, so that she would stop having that pressure. But still, the generational belief of not wanted to grandmother not wanting. And somewhere around the age of 16, my mom had told me about this and asked me, how does that make you feel that your grandmother wanted me to abort you? My immediate response at the time was, she didn't know what a great granddaughter she was going to get. So at that time, it didn't faze me, didn't have a clue, didn't care. And just didn't have a clue that it was going to affect me my whole life on a core level. So ultimately, I knew it wasn't true, but still had to play out the roles, to play out the beliefs, because that's what it's all about. Thursday night, went to a dream interpretation class, and Friday night was a body language show with Valerie Ann Giovanni, both nights. Friday night was really cool about the body language. I was the first volunteer. I knew I was going to be first because that's what I wanted. I wanted her to tell me, and she was like, we're going to keep it G-rated. We're going to keep your secrets, and I'll just tell a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? I'm open and honest. I've been open and honest and been willing to be open and honest for about 3 years now. Didn't tell her about Inara and everything. But that was when I decided I was going to be open and honest. So when somebody said, hey, how you doing? If I felt like crap, I was going to freaking tell them. I feel like crap. A lot of it was just grief and being in my grief. I didn't want to be around. Definitely was gating my sacral and root chakras, holding my hands pretty much like this and in front of him when I was talking. And then a couple of times I talked about being in my power. She asked certain questions, and one of the questions, which I thought was really cool, was, what was the funnest thing that you've ever experienced in your life? And I said, giving birth. Yeah. Who in their right mind? Which is probably not me. I'm not in my right mind. Maybe I'm in my left. No, left is creative. Ah, hell, I am creative. Just not in the artsy, crafty kind of creative. Anyway, so, yes, giving birth, especially to my third child, my first daughter, which was an unassisted childbirth. And one of the ladies in the audience asked, how can that be the funnest thing you've ever done? Labor's not fun. Giving birth is not fun. And I told her I was in my power. I was me. It was work, but it was me. And ultimately it was kind of like a roller coaster ride, even though I said, and I used my hands, I ungated myself and I used my hands about roller coasters. So that was really cool. So I was standing in my power talking about being in my power at one point. Exciting stuff. So Friday, learned quite a bit, and there was another lady that I met that became a friend that night, and learned about that, learned about the way I actually view my husband and my relationship. That was pretty interesting. I don't wear my ring, and my excuse, and I was open and honest about it in the audience, and said, because you fiddle with your fingers, and if it's your ring finger, it's about relationships, and this lady, my husband's a cheapskate, and she was fiddling with her finger. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't wear my ring. I haven't worn my ring regularly for years. It gets in the way. I scratch my kids with it. And it actually, I don't hold enough weight to actually keep it on my finger. When I know that I've lost too much weight, it's in my fingers. If my rings are loose, then I got a problem. So, to keep them safe, I keep them off. So I asked Valerie Ann about that, and she said, well, I don't know about yours, but let me tell you, do you want to hear my experience? And I said, yes, I'd love to. She goes, not that you have to follow it, but this is what happened. 22 years of marriage. I'm not married anymore. And pretty much the same thing happened to me, where I just decided that I wasn't going to wear my ring for various reasons. It was in the way. I viewed my husband as in the way, and he's no longer in my way. Not what I'm telling you to do, but giving you my experience so that you can review your situation. Very enlightening. And yes, I view my husband as in the way. I don't want him to be in the way. I want him to be a support. But I have to view him as support for him to actually manifest that. I am creating my husband as being in the way and not as a support. It's not what I want. I don't want a divorce. He's not that much in the way. It's my perception. I'm retarded. So I'm going to get out of my retardedness and energetically start wearing my ring regularly, which at this point I'm not, because I forgot. It's only been 3 days. But I did wear it to church, I think. No, I wore it Saturday to a doTERRA meeting. But then I didn't remember to wear it at church.